One Direction, you are crazy. Hey, what are you doing here? Oh, it must be time for our second episode. I better get ready. Welcome, everybody. We're Scott Wolfson and Other Heroes. We're your hosts. Thanks for stopping by. We'd like you to meet our guests today. Now, they're two-time Kerrville New Folk Finalists, and they were one of the emerging artists at this year's Falcon Ridge Folk Festival. Please join us in welcoming the YaYas. Your current album is Paper Boats.
Played on more than 125 radio stations.
In over 30 states.
But less than 52.
So where can the folks at home get a copy of Paper Boats?
The best place to start is our website, wearetheyayas.com, wearetheyayas.com. Yes, it's right down here. Or we could go directly to
iTunes or CD Baby.
Excellent. Now we're going to talk to you guys in a moment about your songwriting, but first, it's time for the guest request. So, what song would you like the band to play?
We would love for you guys to play Sarah's Hole in the Ground.
Excellent. Thanks. Sarah lived in a hole in the ground, never making a sound. Walk by, all the years living upright she found, everybody was bound to make her cry. Oh, Sarah, did you wonder what to do with this bag of bones? When did you choose to go under? Sheltering mud and stone. Sarah heard all the elegant moans of the zombies and clones that owned the night. When she talked in her whispering tones, they responded with groans. She hid from sight. This bag of bones. When did you choose to go under? Sheltering mud and stone. Sarah thought of how everyone dies in a clever disguise. That's all their own. So she thought she was terribly wise, and as tears filled her eyes, she laughed alone. Oh, Sarah, did you wonder what to do with this bag of bones? When did you choose to go under? Sheltering mud and stones. Oh, Sarah. Oh, Sarah. Okay, I'm here with the YaYas. We're going to talk about songwriting now, okay? Now, the first thing I want to ask you guys are one of the things, obviously, that I like about your stuff. I have a musical theater background, and a lot of your songs have a theatricality to the lyrics. I wanted to know, do you have a direct influence with that? Did you study with that kind of stuff?
All three YaYas have theater backgrounds.
Interesting.
That's how we met.
Oh, really?
Right. There are three of us, even if there aren't three of us here.
Paul is not here. Apparently, he's performing for the Queen. So
again,
I know. Because a lot of the songs are story songs, and they could be just as home on Broadway as they are being played in front of a concert audience.
Oh, that's kind of neat. I think I recognize the theater background in there, but I never have thought of them as like they could be musical theater songs. But I have a creative writing background as well.
Okay.
And the lyrics are while Jay and Paul have input in lyrics, I guess you could say the lyrics are mostly mine. A big thing in creative writing is or at least for me, show don't tell.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a theater thing too.
That is a
show
thing.
don't tell.
Yes. Now, I do want to ask you about songwriting because you're writing as a group. For me, most of the songs that we bring in, I've done most, if not all, of the songs itself. Now, we'll work on arrangements together, but I'm writing the songs. What's it like for the three of you to write songs together?
I think all of us are always writing all the time. I know Catherine is constantly has notebooks in every room, in every purse, and scraps of everything that she's just writing on.
Now with my Smarty Pants phone, I make a lot of voice memos.
Mm-hmm.
And melody, but that's for melody as well as lyric.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for myself, and I think I can speak somewhat for Paul too, where we pick up our instruments.
Well, you can. He's not here to complain about it.
You know what? We have all kinds of stuff. I'll come across something that catches my attention, and I want to save that. And so I'll use my phone for the same thing. I'll record it into my phone and rattle off where the capo is and what the chords are, and then save it, tuck it away for later. Then we bring that stuff to each other, and we sit in one room together, and we start putting the pieces. You probably speak more of this than I can, but then we start putting.
Just fine.
How formulated is it?
Pieces.
How formulated is it when you actually bring it in together? I mean, do you bring in a full song, or do you go, I've just got this thought, or I've got a couple chords?
I have notebooks full of not full lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a couple of words, or maybe it's an actual section of a few different lines, but it's just bits and pieces. And the same thing for Paul and Jay. They have, it's not a full song. And none of us are writing a full song. We're just working on different things, and then we sit down in the same room, and they'll start. I'll lay all these papers out in front of me, and they'll start.
And then sometimes Paul and I will become human loop machines. And if there's a lick or a riff or something that we're playing, she'll just keep doing that. And so we'll just start kind of looping a phrase or a progression or something for a little while until she starts getting some of this stuff in order. And that'll happen a lot in spots.
So it really is like a little workshopping, and you're all contributing to every single song that you write together.
Right. Okay. We work it out together. So we bring in little pieces and like a puzzle, and then we assemble from there. So, is
there ever a struggle? Because like if you're coming in from one point of view and someone else is coming in from another, like you're talking about song impetus. It's like, oh, I'd like to try this, and someone else is pulling you away from that. Is that something you embrace, or is that something you try and fight against?
We used to fight against it a lot more, and I think that we've kind of grown up a little bit in our songwriting, where we realize that you don't have to, just because you love something doesn't mean you have to hold on to that. Oh, I really like the way I was playing this. Right.
I wanted to bring this up also because Jay is an audio engineer. He has a studio called The Wind Up Shop. And
www.thewindupshop.com.
What is that? What is that?
Put it down here.
What is that?
www.thewindupshop.com.
$20
with a hyphen in wind up.
Are you sponsoring the show?
As far as you know.
As far as I know. All right, so I want to ask you about some of the songs on the album. So first of all, Last Good One. Jay, did you write that about yourself?
Clearly. Well, like everything, we wrote it together, but I would have to point you toward Catherine to be being responsible really for the lyrics.
Whatever songs that we write, I always base them in either my own personal experience or people that I know or people that I've seen. It's based in things that I understand. But at the same time, whatever I've been through in my life, a whole load of other people have been through. So the Last Good One, it's not really about it is about Jay, but it's also not about that. It's about other relationships that I've had and other relationships that are in my life that I just am witness to. Like, it's about all of that
We
stuff.
did a show recently where we kind of pointed toward a couple that was in the audience because they were having fun with us too, and Kath dedicated that song to them, and so.
And changed a lyric or two during it because we had talked to them during the break, and so I knew.
And at that show, that song became almost nothing about us, and everybody was sort of focused on that couple in the audience when we played
and
it.
they loved it. It was great. It was fun.
When you write personal songs like that, they can still be fictionalized. They don't necessarily have to be everything that's gone through.
Right. He doesn't leave the cap off or the seat up.
For the record, I'm glad
She's
we're clearing
saying
this
that,
up.
but it's not true. How do you feel about that, though? If people come up and they think that the songs that you've written are exactly what happened in your life.
If a song connects with somebody, that's all it needs to do. It's great, whether
That's
it's an
it.
absolute 100% thing that happened to Kath or anybody else. Doesn't really matter. If somebody connected with it and was like, wow, that song really, I felt something during that song. Great. That's what the song's supposed to do. It doesn't matter where it came from.
I'm always beyond moved when people talk to me after a show or in a break about a song because it inspired them enough to leave whatever other conversation, whoever they were with, to come up and take the time to talk to me. That's an honor as far as I'm concerned. Like I hope I
Sometimes you
never
almost
don't feel that way.
Sometimes you almost don't want to tell them what might be true or not true in a song because it will change the way they felt about something when you're talking to you right at that moment. So
There's one of our songs called "All These Gifts." One of the lines toward the end of the song is about the narrator of the song talks about their own children, and everything else in that song is really autobiographical for me. That's actually one of my most personal songs, but that one part of it is not the case. So we have a 95-pound lab mixed rescue dog, and that's the only child, that we have. And there's a good example of our co-writing because I was at a loss at the end of that song. I didn't know how to bring it full circle, and I didn't know how to do it. I'm like, and I'm pacing and they're playing and we're singing through the song till that part, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. And Jay said, well, what if the character, what if the narrator of the song, what if she had children? He just sort of flicked that switch and the light bulb went off, and I went, oh. And she would have to, of course, have the same children, like she would have to have 2 boys and a girl, of course, and that brings the whole thing full circle, and I wouldn't have been able to do that on my own. But that's the only song of ours that I always feel bad, and I always feel I have to own up to it when somebody comes and talks to me about that song. I always have to tell them, because a lot of times it's, oh, so like, do your kids travel with you?
we locked them in a cage at home.
Yes. They're in a pet taxi.
So that's the tough one.
One of the things I talk about all the time with regards to songwriting is the fact that I constantly like challenging myself. I constantly like breaking from patterns that I get into. So do you ever sit and say, I'm really good at this, what if I tried this?
Not so much I can do this, so let me try this. It's often something that I just feel like I'm listening to something that excites me. I'm like, I want to emulate that, or I wonder what my version of that type of thing would sound like. What would it be like if I tried to do a swing, some sort of big band swing thing, and what do my abilities and my limitations end up producing?
I think that we are always, not when we're sitting and writing, but when we're just out doing whatever, sometimes just out as friends, or if we're at a show or whatever, something will happen and we'll go, oh, that's interesting, we should try something like that. I don't think that we actually try specifically to do it, but we put the kernel of the idea in our brains, and I think a lot of times that comes out.
I want to thank our guests for being here today. We've been here with the YaYas. Thanks for sitting in and talking about your songwriting process.
Thanks for having us.
Before you go, though, it's time for On Demand for the Band.
Sure.
This is where we make you play a song. Okay? So,
I thought you were going to say dance. This is where we make you dance.
this is where we control your souls.
Now it's the Face the Music Dance Challenge.
Actually, we'll have a Face the Music Dance Challenge. What you can do is take a recording of the song that they're going to play next and send a video to us of you dancing to it.
That would be
We'll edit
really
clips
awkward
together.
on so many levels. and
We'll
really
edit
cool.
clips
That'd be
together.
awesome.
We won't air it or anything else like that, but it'd be extremely fun. So go ahead and send it to band@scottwolfson.com.
What were you talking about?
We would like you to play a song.
Sure.
All right. The song we'd like you guys to play is All These Gifts. Would you play that for us?
We would love to.
Awesome. The YaYas, everyone. Performing All These Gifts from their album Paper Boats, the YaYas.
I'm a girl who has two brothers. They are both older than me. We had one amazing mother. She was gone at 53. Daddy loves his scotch and water, counts the ice cubes in the glass, fixed his heart with bricks and mortar, safe inside, 'cause nothing lasts. I gotta stop counting up the cost, can't live my life in terms of what I've lost. I've got some better things to head up now.
Thanks for joining us. Our guests tonight were the YaYas. We were Scott Wolfson and Other Heroes.
And you still are.
And thanks for watching.
You guys are not nearly goofy enough. Roll that again.
Our guests tonight were the YaYas.
And we still are.
We were Scott Wolfson and Other.
The other part of it is we don't take it
Can't believe
personally.
she interrupted me.
In the
Unbelievable.
Go on.
I'm just gonna save this right here in case I need
Out of
to
here.
whack you again.
Deep breath.
So, okay.
Stop it.
We were Scott Wolfson and Other. Oh, we were.
Oh, we're
T.
so
Scott
close.
Wolfson and Other Heroes.
Right.
Thank you.
I sent him a singing telegram. Ronald Reagan.
Seriously. When did I lose control? This is like.
I believe it was right about when you sat down and said, "Hi, welcome to
Yeah,
the
so
show."
we're here with the YaYas.
Yeah, I think it was the moment you invited them.
I think so.
I guess
So-
I just did that.
He said.
Oh, this would be goofy.
We're editing all of this out so far. We're
Yeah,
just
the
gonna skip right
interview
ahead.
starts here.